This is Gerald Johan van Waas and the educational channel of demonstrations of how the sound informed theory works to guide you to understand why each letter in each word is really directing into a certain intended direction as they fit with the words that have these letters. And it's because this whole system is based upon an orientation. Just as we have an orientation in time and space, every letter is formed actually at a certain point in time and space that makes it logical, made it a fine position to start to use them. This order came to existence naturally, so it's not a thought over idea of how letters are formed. They were probably gradually formed and made themselves into positions that they gave good order, that we could remember them well, could work with them well. And that's how this order is also a natural order that is much more easy to work with. Of course, there are different languages, there's a whole philosophy, whys and hows and so on, but that's not what I'm talking about. I will, in these few videos that hang together, I will explain how the structure of time and space and of an order that is also related with mathematics to a certain point and to the rules of mathematics, they fit to it, and they could be used in a certain way that fit with letters. And these couple of videos explain that. At least they explain the things that I already noticed. In this video I will explain the next level. This is a fourth video of its kind, and it's showing the foundation of placements and in movement in the fourth dimension. Why do you need a fourth dimension, and how it comes to existence, and how you have it as a reference point in letters. And that's also a new direction towards our logic, to what we can use in our logic. And I will show you again what we have already so far. So we started from one single focus of an idea of how we treat the world. It is our vision, and our vision is expressed by the A. This is our foundation, a foundation that is related with an idea of what is has a rhythm of its own, has a focus on its own, the number one. It's expressed with the number one. It's filled in as an element with a placement in a one-dimensional world. That's our starting point. We start with it and build up the rest of our orientations from there. So far so good, but we try to continue this foundation. And also, if you notice something else, or if you have we notice that maybe someone else has a different opinion, has a different order of things, and we are confronted with it, we try to still maintain our own focus, and we try to maintain use the focus also as a foundation of where we build up all the logic further. That's what we do when we when we talk, when we have a speech, when we have a thought. We try to keep our own focus. But of course, when we meet, when we come to an encounter with a different opinion, we already notice that there are differences, and we don't deal fully with the second vision yet, but we need to deal with it, because maybe even by confrontation with the second opinion, our own opinion might not be a good match, a good method anymore to have a good balance with it. So we are at the first stage, when we added new elements and filled in new elements with the letter T, that's adding new elements, new features and so on, we already encountered with the letter K that there were differences. It was a dangerous situation. It gave us doubt if we could still continue as we could. So there was a slight adaptation already. It's against our will, but we have to. I mean, there is an adaptation. Okay, we deal with it. That's what you do. Okay, I don't like it that someone has an opinion, but I deal with it. It's a confrontational position still in that at that point. But we collect material in the same way further and further again, and we start to deal with the extra elements. And the most easy thing to do would be, yes, I accept what works for me, and I will just leave behind what does not work for me. And that's the you. That's the position which I say, okay, I accept you as a second opinion from the parts that for me works. So that's still, so I still continue my own vision, and I add a new person, a new element, and yeah, it's acceptable to a certain degree. Some of it will work, some of it will not work, and there's no method for it yet on how we communicate and so on. So it's only after a while, when you have that a lot of times, there might grow certain general rules that there is a way to handle all the elements that work and will not work, that we have a general rule of communication, of a general rule of working with it, that adapts our first definition of focus, and that adapts our whole reality. It gives us the context. It's the context of communication in a way. So after the opinion and meeting the possible second opinion, there is, we let's say we've found an agreement of a communication. Okay, we know, okay, our focus, we still follow our focus, but we also notice that other people follow another focus, a different focus, an independent focus, and it's not always the same middle road that is followed, but there exists a middle road of communication. Although from this viewpoint alone, from the first three positions, the three-dimensional materialistic world, we only use our own vision, our own center point of vision, and it's a bit unpredictable that some things land somewhere else, are filled up differently, are even going somewhere else, and it succeeds to do so. So there is an unpredictability there, but we have to notice that this second focus, which is expressed by X, that's the last letter in the third on the third level, is doing its own thing. Our X's are doing its own thing, and that's frustrating at that point when we start to keep our own focus as the most important focus. But we have to deal with that. It's our focus, not the only focus. There maybe are different focuses to treat the world. So as soon as we deal with this second focus, we also are dealing with that there might be a general rule that works for all of the people with all communications, or with even all focuses, and it starts to adapt our own focus. We are already now adapting our own focus to the possibility that there are second focuses. So all the materials that didn't work for us, the red arrows that didn't work for us, we only used the green arrows, what worked for us. But anyway, we can also deal with it, that we say, okay, from a general point of view, we could use all the focuses, and also what does not work with it, we can still deal with it. And that will change our own single-minded, one-pointed, centralized, egocentric vision of focus into a two-dimensional focus of formation. It will say, okay, I will deal with everything that is formed and everything where I can adapt to as the differences. So I'll start to have a focus which also goes not just horizontal forward, but it also goes vertical. It has a two-dimensional focus as a way. What did we have to do for it? So when we also adapt to a second focus, we place ourselves into a different mindset, into a different place, into a different time frame. We will do a move, we will make a jump, we will make an adaptation, we will make a change over time or in time. So we'll deal with this maybe some other time. I can handle with that in these conditions. I can move to another place. This is my position on Earth here, but the other position, just 1 meter further, 2 meters further, it's also another position, and I can also move towards that other position. I will make an adaptation. And in a way, this kind of adaptation, this move, what is it? It's nothing else than the fourth dimension. It will do a change in time, over time. It will move towards another place. There are two positions, two focuses, and it's actually a two-dimensional world in which I move, but it's also I need the full fourth dimensional perspective to see what I'm doing here. And this perspective of being allowed to accept yourself, to make a change, because now our one position, our definition, is not just always doubtful the whole time. We not only accepted that it can be doubtful, we are also open to adapt it in the fourth dimension with the letters that connect with the fourth dimension, with this fourth movement, let's say, this fourth extra movement that we can do. So what do we do then? We started from one opinion and one position. We add a new position based upon what works and what does not work, the red arrow and the green arrow, and we have our three-dimensional world of order. We will add an extra position. So we do a three-dimensional vision, we add an extra position, so we go in a three-dimensional world with a move towards somewhere else. So it's 3D plus 1 in time, in movement, and in change, and so on. And it works only if this is indeed a balance that shows a continuation of thinking, not just from our own position, but a general neutral position that goes forward. This forward move where everything can continue to exist as it is the fourth dimensional move, the neutral position, the way of adaptation. That's where we adapt to positions. So and then a whole world of why we can do that, if it's useful to do that, and so on. The higher dimensions, as you could use them for it, are in fact building up good reasons to form ourselves into a new position. The D itself, because you can see it already in the form, the D itself is starting from one position, and it takes all the contradictions together so that we can have a neutral continuation. So we have a continuation of our own thoughts, but we also deal with other thoughts. So all contradictions are taken in consideration so that we can move on. And we move on, we continue to do so from something that works, so that should keep also a neutral common position. So in a way we could say it's a bit more easy if I show it with a slightly larger field of perspective. We change perspective. So we had a middle point in the first square, and we move to a different middle point, a different point in space, by dealing with the two opposites, and then we have, okay, we know where to move to, where the opposites are in balance. The red and the green dot are in balance in another position of a central position. From that central position, these opposites work. For us, maybe they didn't work because we got out of balance in that position. But here it says no, it will work. We have a good balance, a good general balance to start from there, and from that middle point of view, this balance is not taking us out of order. It is not taking us out of balance. No, we keep the balance there. So we deal with an extra content and an extra size via the next letter. It's not only the middle point, it's also the extra content comes to it. So we have extras that we can deal with, extra content it is, extra, it's larger, our field of investigation is larger. So the N will add focuses that normally wouldn't be there, wouldn't be possible. And the same with Y, it's also like we have larger borders. We can have our border of perspective, it's larger. Normally we don't reach that outer border there. If we start from the first square with our middle point, we can't reach it. But with this new middle point, we can reach it. And that's the last letter of the fourth dimension. The Y is, okay, my range of what I can handle, the range of the new elements that can still be kept in balance, are expressed by the letter Y. So here we have the D position of where I move my center point of vision 1 to a new position, is expressed by D. And the D is of course dealing with a second position, a second opinion, and it adapts to it so that it can still keep a balanced view towards it with the right context. This right context is the D, the N and the Y together. The N adds more material, so more material will be available, and when there's more material available, it will of course also be more useful material. And of course also the area of reach of what I can understand or what I can keep in balance. That's maybe more is it? I don't understand it yet because it's not within my own first starting point. But I add it, I can reach it, it's within reach. It's not fully with my starting point of vision connected, but it's connected with it because I place myself in it, and I say I can keep a balance with it, that even the borders that are, or the borders of my thinking, the borders of whatever it is can still be added and is still in balance in that way. This was a first introduction of the next level of letters. It's a different way of thinking about it. You add extra elements that you should normally not reach, but you can reach them by a move, or after some time you can also get there maybe. So you can move towards it in place, or you get to it after some time. That's one of the foundations of this level of associating that I use with the next level of letters. I use it, but it's actually a foundation also in the numerological order. It's there, it was there. I didn't invent them, but I just rediscovered them, how it works, and I just explain it as it is here. And I hope you understand it a little bit better than this level of understanding how this works. It's based, of course, also on the numerical order, but it's much more comes to it than that. It's the whole logic of associations that you can derive from it that are important and that are also the cause of why these ways of thinking are possible, because they are founded in this system, in this order of system, and in this place within the system. Thanks for watching. This was Gerald Tuavawas. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want to have more updates now and then. And there's a list of words and demonstrations on this particular website which you can visit, and then have a refreshing choice of what you want to understand better, some word combinations, letter combinations that you want to try. It will take a long time before you can play with it, but as soon as you understand the structure, a part of the structure I explained today, it will go much more easy after a while. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.